secret is another type of lie.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not. Where's the snow?
Well, it seems like fans are in an uproar about Lois Lane and Superman Clark Kent's relationship in the new My Adventures of Superman episode, where Lois Lane discovers who he is as Superman and is very angry about it, which is a trope that's been going on for at least a few decades now, 50 years. It's in the Superman 2 movie. It's in multiple Spider-Man movies, this trope. It was just recently done terribly in the Invincible TV show with I forget the girlfriend in that one, which was kind of annoying. And I think we've reached I guess a threshold where people are kind of just tired of this trope where the love interest is angry for not knowing everything about the superhero that's risking his life and about to die, but she's angry that she didn't get to know the truth and doesn't trust him. Because I think it's just I can see where they're trying to take this, like hiding things from people and stuff like that, but I'm like, this guy was almost killed by monsters, robots, and you're just mad about he didn't tell you the complete truth about him being super powerful. So I understand why people are tired of this trope, but it is a trope that's been part of comics, and I think maybe it's just been overdone. I like the 1990s Superman show where the relationship where eventually when she did find out, she handled it like an adult, like not crying like a baby, like you didn't tell me the truth, tell me the truth, I need to know everything about you even though I know you for 3 days. So I think this is the problem I have with this trope itself, but the fans, I think they may be coming from a different position. I'm just bored of it. I've seen it done multiple times, and I just want to see something where it's just more healthy, or she just doesn't know at all that he's Superman. I just want that version of Lois Lane where she just doesn't know he's Superman, and Superman handles it in a better way. I like how he handles it in Superman when initially she jumps out of the window, he just rearranges everything. He goes downstairs, blows her up, sets her up to a place where she actually is saved by like a curtain or something. I like when Superman is a lot smarter. I think in the TV show he's a lot smarter about protecting his identity, but now I think just the two characters are just like two teenagers, which is probably what they're trying to portray, like two 21-year-olds, 20-year-olds, or 19-year-olds that are on that first job or something like that. So it makes sense for the show. So I'm not really mad at it, but I'm just like, okay, this again, she's mad for some reason, whatever. She wants to trust a person after knowing them for 5 days. Okay, but let's read the article. Fans are furious over Lois Lane's rude outing of Clark Kent in My Adventures of Superman. Okay, let's see what they have to say. Fans are furious over the last episode of DC's anime-inspired romantic comedy My Adventures of Superman, where Lois Lane guilt trip Clark Kent into coming clean about his superhero identity. My Adventures with Superman follows the early days of Clark's life in Metropolis as he attempts to balance his secret identity with his developing career as an investigative reporter alongside his roommate colleague Jimmy Olsen. In Lois' previous episodes have seen Lois connecting the dots and figure out that Clark was Superman at the end of My Adventures of Superman 4th episode. Let's go, Ivo Tower, you say? Leading up to the controversial moment when she guilt trips Clark into revealing his identity. Sharing a clip from the show's 5th episode titled "You Will Believe a Man Can Lie." Yeah, I'm with Clark on this one, Lois, so it goes crazy. Someone mentions here, and this is the clip right here.
Don't lie to me again.
What are you talking about?
I've spent all this time worrying about you, and this is how you're gonna play it? Way.
There she goes.
Lois,
I
please,
hate you.
let
You
me
saved
explain.
me. You're saving people. You're evil. You lied to me.
You hated
I
Superman.
hate this.
You said he was a liar, and you were gonna find and publish all of his secrets.
Yeah.
My secrets.
I would never do that to you.
But you said you would do that. Come on. This is.
I had no idea it was you.
I just hate this trope. It's just boring to me because you already know the ending resolution of it, where they're just gonna eventually say, "Oh yeah, okay, I'm sorry." I just wish it was done better. It's not that interesting. But let's read on. Instead of thanking Clark for rescuing her, Lois proceeds to accuse him of lying to her, claiming a secret is another type of lie. Despite Lois previously lying to Clark when they first met and denying she would publish Clark's secrets. She concludes the scene by continuing to paint herself as a victim, breaking up with him for not disclosing the secret. Fans were furious, claiming Lois Lane out in Superman was the example of the infamous omission is still a lie trope, which has become synonymous with Amber and Invincible. Yeah, the Amber Invincible. There's such a terrible scene with Amber. Such a terrible character, Amber and Invincible, where you just absolutely hate her. You can tell the writers think she's amazing, and I think that's a serious terrible character from Invincible. Almost a fatal flaw of Invincible is her, where you're just thinking like, who cares about her? She's crazy and stupid. Just let go of her. Tila in Kevin Smith's Master of the Universe, another terrible show that's from a terrible animation. And Kevin Smith, he just has no touch. The same thing, she was mad at He-Man for keeping his secret identity. That's what's keeping him alive and his family. It's such a terrible trope, and for some reason writers think this is compelling drama. It's just stupidity. At least all the fans feel that way for the most part. This is the worst trope in superhero media. Love interest friend gets mad when they find out their partner is a superhero, just like Amber on Invincible. It's unrealistic. It creates unnecessary angst and drama. It's just like, man, just get this drama out of here. Create some real drama. This is like artificial drama. I think that's the main thing fans have a problem with. It's just artificial drama. Create real tension and drama within your story instead of depending on trope drama. And I think that's the problem. Just to be clear on, I'm not saying Lois is the same as Amber. No, she's definitely not Amber. This is definitely not the same character, I would have to say. Lois is still a better character in this TV show. So she's not that bad. She's not even close as bad as Amber. Amber was much worse. I only brought her up because it's just another example of the same trope. Lena Luthor on Supergirl is probably the worst example of this trope, considering she went full villain. Okay, that's a pretty terrible. I didn't watch Supergirl. Supergirl was trash, so I didn't try to watch it. So I guess they have that trope as well. I really hate that the omission is still a line of thinking sometimes used in superhero writing. Having their alter egos is meant to protect those you care for so that your villains don't attack them, but it just so happens one of those people the hero cares for is always like, but why didn't you tell me? Because you're acting like a hysterical bee after. Okay, that is a definite cohesive and comprehensive thought right there. I agree with it. Like, yeah, of course he's not gonna tell you. You're acting crazy right now. That's evidence why he shouldn't tell you, because you're out of your mind. Who knows what you're gonna do? You're gonna become a supervillain like Lena Luthor in whatever, Supergirl. So yeah, it makes it even more correct that Superman didn't tell you his identity. You're acting like this. No, they drag Lois to the same depths as Iris West and Mary Jane Watson. Yeah, those characters famously had the same, reactions in their respective movies or TV shows. Seriously, when did reporter girlfriends throwing themselves off buildings fully expecting their superhero boyfriends to save them without complication or hindrance become a trope? At least the other two were done with trust. And yeah, these are the responses. I really feel like they really just need to stop doing this. We saw it in Superman 2 where it was done, but I still think even in there it was still entertaining and fun. This was the beginning of the trope, so it wasn't as bad. But now we're at the death end, the nadir of this trope, and we don't want to see it anymore. Make some compelling stories with good characters and create something that is new that becomes a trope. This trope is dead, and I think that's something they need to get through their mind. This scene from My Adventures with Superman is kind of in character for Lois, but it's also one of my least favorite, and I think that's the problem. We know this is a trope that's happening, but it's just terribly done now. No one wants to see it. It feels stupid. This feels like two love-struck teenagers trying to awkwardly navigate their way through high school. This is not Superman, nor is this Lois Lane, and that's the point. This is not the adult Superman. This is like 20-year-old Superman, and I think that's what they're going for. So let's just let them do what they have to do. But we still hate the trope. Do something different. If you're doing like teenage Superman or just out of college Superman, then get rid of that trope as well. But they brought that along, and I think that's sad that they did do that. They always kept a cordial yet professional relationship. I guess they're talking about just their comic book counterparts. Remember in Smallville when a female love interest found out Clark's secret? At least 3 did, and then they kept the secret. Then they didn't tell they didn't tell Clark. They knew. They respected his privacy and his wishes, and even helped keep his secret from others. Did no one watch that show? And Smallville is a perfect example of female characters learning the secret and just respecting people's privacy. Why can't Lois respect his privacy? And she barely knows him for like 1 week, and you want to know all of his secrets? It's just she's out of her mind. And it just doesn't make sense with the writing of the show. But I just think they just wanted to do that trope. This is such an incredibly toxic behavior from Lois, attempting to commit suicide to force his hand, and then still reacting like a petty bee when he revealed his secret to save her life. And what's worse is the show portrays her as the right one. This is such a bad lesson to be teaching children watching this show, especially girls. And yes, I know the Richard Donner movies did something similar. It was then, it was back then too, with Lois acting like a sociopath, but she at least still appreciated why Clark kept her secret. This time, Lois Lane doesn't even appreciate why he kept the secret. She's just so self-centered and victimized, where you're like, what? Who is this character? He was right not to tell you his secret. He might have to do something to you to stop you from telling his secret to others. This is the untrustworthy person type of response, and I think that's why people hate the reaction. But I don't know, the writers that do this trope feel like it's the right response for some reason. I think maybe it's ideological, background for the writers themselves. But this is one of the worst parts of the new adventure, the new cartoon for Superman. I think it's overall a good show for the most part. It's doing different things, so I give it some leeway. With this trope, I would have to agree with everyone. It's terrible. I don't like it. It kind of gives me a bad taste with the show, where it may be going. But that's just what they want to do. I'm going to let them do it. Maybe they'll fix it in the end, but who knows? Tell me your comments, how you feel about this episode, how you feel about the My Adventures of Superman cartoon itself. Do you think it's good, it's bad? Do you hate this trope? Do you love it? Let me hear what you have to say in the comments. This is Wagner Knows Why. Catch you next time.